everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Debbie and I'm a reseller. I have been reselling for 17 years and I mainly sell on eBay and Poshmark and a little bit on Mercari and Amazon. And today I have a what sold video for you. I'm going to share 20 items that sold last week, which was August 29th through September 4th, 2021. I sold a total of 48 items for a gross amount of $1,145.34. And as always, if you'd like the complete breakdown of all of my numbers, stick around till the very end and I will have that for you. We will start on Poshmark because again, I had the most sales on Poshmark. I sold 37 items for a total of $783. The first item was on my Goodwill haul in Edmond, Oklahoma, where my husband came with me, and I found this Lucky brand wrap sweater in size large, and this was right in the end of summer, and so I was really looking for sweaters and cardigans to start listing because I knew they would start selling end of August, beginning of September, and this one did. It sold for $30. My earnings were $24. I paid $5.99 at the regular Goodwill in Edmond, Oklahoma, and it took 1 month and 4 days to sell, and my profit was $18.01. The next one was a vintage coat, and I had this in a Goodwill bins haul. Miss New Yorker, made in USA. When you see things like this, made in USA, or if you see a union tag, that's a good clue that it is vintage. And I remember this one took a lot of work. Remember, if you pick up things with a lot of lint on them, they can take a long time. I timed myself and it took me 40 minutes to lint roll and photograph this one. So I remember saying, I need to make sure that I don't accept too low of an offer. Good condition, but has a lot of lint on it. So that's a neat one. Then, well, it sold for $58. My earnings were $43.94. I paid just $3.87 at the Goodwill bins. And my Goodwill bins is 99 cents a pound if it is 25 pounds or more. So that was a pretty heavy jacket. And it took 6 months and 12 days to sell. And my profit was $40.07. And I purchased all these vintage coats probably around 5 or 6 months ago. And just in the last couple weeks, 3 of them have sold. So now is definitely the time to start getting outerwear, jackets, fall, winter things out there because things are definitely selling.
It is a great idea when you have a couple minutes to do a search to see what is currently selling. So I did a search for jackets and coats. I always take it off of my size because I want to know what is selling in all sizes, not just my size. Then I change the filter from just share to just in. This is going to show me what has sold quickly. Then I change it from available to sold. Then I'm going to go through and see what has sold, how much, and these are items that sold quickly. So it will give me an idea of what I might want to pick up if I am outsourcing. And so that is another way beyond what sold videos to get a great idea of what is currently selling. I pay particular attention if I see the same brand over and over again because these are filtered by just in. So that means that they just came in recently and sold quickly. And I just go through and look and familiarize myself with some of the names. Then I change my filters. Instead of all prices, I want to see what sold for $100 to $250. And then maybe if I see a brand that I didn't know, I will know that that is a good brand to pick up if I am outsourcing. Also, if I see one that sold for a great amount and it looks nice, often I'll click on the listing, go into it, see how they photographed and what they said about the listing, because you can learn a lot from looking at other listings. Then I decide I want to do a search for sweaters because I am going to really be looking out for sweaters in the next couple weeks to have them listed. and I do the same thing. I change it to all sizes because I want it filtered for all sizes, just in, so I can see what sold quickly, and from available to sold. Not only am I looking at brand when I am doing these searches of what has sold, I'm also looking at what the style of the sweaters are to see, is there a certain trend going where I'm seeing a lot of a particular type? And also colors, are there certain colors that really seem to be selling? And then I go through and I change it from all prices to 100 to 250 again, because I would like to see what sells at a higher amount. And then sometimes I'll go even higher than that and just play around with it and see what is out there, because you never know if you're going to see something and then later on you're outsourcing and you have the knowledge to pick that up. So if ever you find you have a couple extra minutes, doing a quick search like this on what has sold recently is very valuable information.
The next item was a cardigan sweater, and this was the Theory Winksy Bee cardigan sweater. It had a cashmere blend, and I love this sweater. I wore it a couple times. I wore it in one of my first YouTube videos, and on there it did have a little bit of wear on the fabric, and so I was just sure to say that, and I put the positives about it, that it was gorgeous, really soft, but it did have a little wear. And the buyer purchased it. You want to always be sure and disclose those kind of things so that the buyer knows and they're happy and you do not have a dispute on your hand. And I did use this little sweater shaver, and I just use a really cheap one. I bought it on eBay for like $5, and it does do a lot of good. But one thing I will caution, if you are going to do any type of repair or sweater shaving, do that before you list the item, because in the past I have had instances where I would see something later and I would try to repair it and then end up ruining the item. So now I have a rule for myself that if there is anything that I want to do, like sweater shave it or snip something on it, I do that before I list it and never when I'm about to ship it. This sweater sold for $32. My earnings were $23.14. I got it at the Goodwill bins for only 92 cents. It took 6 months to sell, and my profit was $22.22. And this was the first time I ever found this brand, but I had heard other resellers talk about selling Theory in their what sell videos. So I was able to pick this item up because I recognized the brand name from hearing other people talk about it. So it is great to watch what sell videos so that you familiarize yourself with brands that sell. The next item was an item that I had talked about last week that I had sold, and then I made a mistake. I was rushing around and I accidentally sent the wrong Eileen Fisher cardigan to the person. I apologized. I asked Poshmark to approve the return. They did. I had to reach out to her and let her know if she still wanted it, that it had to be a separate transaction, and I would gladly sell it to her for just $20 if she wanted to repurchase it. So I listed it, and I listed it high and told her that she could send an offer because I didn't want someone else to snatch it up at that low price. She ends up sending me an offer for more than the original one, and she was so nice. And so it sold for $35. My earnings were $28. I paid just $7, and on this one I sourced this from ThreadUp, and I went through and looked up Eileen Fisher items and sorted them from lowest to highest, and I just picked some of them to purchase. It was only $7, and my profit ended up being $21. The next one came from a ThreadUp rescue box, the men's rescue box, and although it was women's, I got several women's items in that box, and they were good items. This was the Adidas Slouchy Mock Turtleneck Sweater in size small. It sold for $32. My earnings were $24.10. I paid just $5.03. It took 2 months and 1 week to sell, and my profit was $19.07. The next one also came from that same ThreadUp men's rescue box, and this was the Ricky Singh for Denim and Flower polo shirt in size small. It was brand new with the tag still on it. It sold for $17. My earnings were $11.14. I paid just $5.03, and my profit was only $6.11, but it only had a retail value of $44, and it was a men's size small, which is a very challenging size to sell. So I am thrilled that I got the original investment back, plus a profit of $6.11. The next one was a Zara women's plaid shirt, size small, and this was so cute. I actually wore it a couple times and then got to sell it, so that's a bonus when I also get to wear it. It sold for $17. My earnings were $11.14. I paid just 78 cents at the Goodwill bin 6 months ago, and my profit was $10.36. The next one was also another Goodwill Bins find, and at my Goodwill Bins, adult shoes are $2.29, plus I paid tax on it, and so it ended up only costing $2.50. It sold for $20. My earnings were $16, and my profit was $13.50. It took 3.5 months to sell. And I find Vans, I pick them up all the time, and they might not make a lot of money, but they always seem to sell for a decent profit. Then the next one was a bundle of 4, and this person had added a couple things to her bundle, so I sent her an offer, and she was so sweet, and she messaged right back and said she was at work and she was going to add some more things. We communicated back and forth, and she was just really nice, so I was really happy to sell these items to her. The first one came from a thread-up shoe rescue box, and these were the Joe Suede Petra boots, and they were so cute. I paid $6.32 for these, and I was so excited that she put these in the bundle with some other items that I had a little room to move on. So I took all of that in consideration, wrote out my cost of goods when she was bundling the items so that I could give a good deal to her and still make a good profit. The second item was a Shade and Shore bikini top. I paid just 66 cents on this top on my great swimsuit deal. The next one was a We the Free, which is a Free People line, Stone Cold turtleneck. A lot of my Free People I get from Fox Liquidation, but this one came from Dillard's. I also buy Free People from Dillard's. They have great clearance sales, and I actually sourced it online. They were having one of their big sales where everything was like 65% off plus an additional 50% off. And when that happens, I go through, load my cart up, and it's delivered to my door. It's really nice and easy. So it cost $11.78, but this one I've had for a year and 3 months, so it was a little slow to sell. Last one was a really pretty Free People tube top with all this metallic in it, and so my total cost of goods was $25.50. So I sent an offer to her after she had finalized everything for $72. She accepted. My earnings were $55.14, and my profit was $29.64. So I was very happy with that. Next, on eBay, I sold 10 items for a gross amount of $294.34. The first one that I want to share with you is from the men's thread-up rescue box, and I've had several this week from that box. That box ended up being really good. I have 2 more thread-up boxes coming. They're both scheduled to be delivered on Thursday, so I will have a video on those. I have been happy with every single thread-up box that I have received, and I'll give a little breakdown of how much I've made on the other ones on that video. This was the Patagonia full zip hoodie. It sold for $48.90. My earnings were $29.71. I paid $5.03, and it took 2 months and 18 days to sell. My profit was $24.68, and it even had a little flaw on it, a little bit of, I think it was discoloration, but I just stated that in the listing, and I listed it a little lower because of that, but I still made a great profit. Then the next one I got at the bins. This was the Ralph Lauren flats. They were the red leather ballet flats, and they reminded me of some of the Tory Burch shoes that I've sold for really good prices, so I picked them up, and I noticed the outsides looked perfect, but the insides were really crackled on the lining, so I just said that in the listing. They still sold for $25.67. My earnings were $11.75. I paid just $2.50 at the Goodwill bins, and they took 1 month and 17 days to sell. My profit was $9.25. The next one came from a video that I just recently had out where I sourced at Ross, and this item was the Greg Norman men's golf polo shirt, and it was brand new with tags. It sold for $39.55. My earnings were $29.59. I paid $15.21, and my profit was $14.38. It only took 9 days to sell, so I almost doubled my money in 9 days. I think that's excellent. The next one, I just thought this was really cool. I love it when I go to the bins and find just unique old items. This was a vintage leather craft ink, top grain, cowhide, vintage briefcase, attaché case, and it was pretty large, so I put on the title the dimensions, and when I listed it, it gives that suggested price, and it was really high. It said like $117, so I thought I'll go ahead and put that price in when I didn't really think it would go for that high, because when I looked up comps it was a lot lower, but I thought it can't hurt to try, so I priced it really high, like over $100, and just not a lot of activity, so I just started lowering it, and then an offer came in, and so I accepted it. It sold for $37.53. My earnings were $13.47. I paid just $1.37 at the Goodwill bins, and it took 2 months and 3 weeks to sell. My profit was $12.10. The next one was a pair of Land's End men's boots, and they were a really nice tan color suede, excellent condition, size 11, and they sold for $33.20. My earnings were $16.90. I paid just $5.35 at my local Goodwill. They took 3.5 months to sell, and my profit was $11.55. Then the next one I just had in my last Goodwill bins haul, and these were so cute. They were little kid Zara joggers, and they had a drawstring, but when I was listing them, I had already washed them, and I was taking pictures and noticed there were a couple spots that looked like the fabric was a little darker, and then in the back there was a tiny hole. So I just listed them anyway, since I had already done almost all of the work, disclosed that, and they sold in just 5 days. For $10.66, my earnings were $3.71. I paid just 32 cents, and my profit was not much, only $3.39, but I'm happy that they still sold. And then the last item I'm going to share on eBay was a pair of men's Lucky Brand jeans, and they were size 34 regular. Often on jeans, I will put the tag size, and I will also put the actual measurement size in the title line. And they measured 35 by 34, which is a pretty good size. That 34 length is excellent to have. So I thought they would sell right away, but they took 7 months and 4 days to sell. So I received an offer and I took it. They were $31.05. My earnings were $17.18. I paid just $1.38 at the Goodwill bins, and my profit was $15.80. And after the person purchased it, they sent me a message and said they accidentally forgot to change the shipping address. They had moved. Would I please ship to this other address? And if someone asks you that, that does happen every once in a while, you are not covered by eBay seller protection if you ship to a different address. However, on this one, it was a $31 sell. I didn't think they were trying to commit fraud in any way, and so I said I would be happy to. But do remember that if you have an item and it is a little bit expensive and you don't want to take a risk, you can say, oh, I can only ship to the address provided. I would be happy to cancel this and relist it. And then just when you are purchasing it, be sure and change the address. So that's a judgment call on items if you would like to do that or not. And then I had one Mercari sale, and this was a Free People item from Fox Liquidation. It was the Goldie leather dress in size 4. And I thought this was so cute, and it has gotten like 0 activity on it. And I think due to the small sizes, I have one in size 2 and one in size 4. Had it been a size 12 or 14, I think it would have gotten a lot more activity, but it just hasn't. at all. And so when I got an offer in for $68, it was $56 plus $12 shipping, I knew I was only going to make a couple dollars, but I thought I am happy to recoup my money on that. There were other items in that box of liquidation items that were more profitable and sold faster. So this one, I was just happy to get my money back. My earnings were $48.48. I paid $45.10 on this dress. It took 1 month and 9 days to sell, which is not very long, so I could have held out for longer, but I would rather get that money back and reinvest it into something else. And my profit was $3.38, so not much, but that is okay. Now, my totals for the week, I sold a total of 48 items, and the breakdown on those, 21 of them were from liquidation, 16 of them were from thrifting, so either the Goodwill bins, the regular Goodwill store, or any other type of thrifting, including the thread-up rescue boxes. I consider those in that same category. And then 11 retail arbitrage. And a lot of the liquidation are repeats week after week. So I'll pop up some listings on one of these sites to show you some of the other items that I sold this week if you're curious, but that is the breakdown of where my items came from. So now I will go for all of my totals. I won't read off every single number, but I will pop it up on the side if you want to look at it more closely. You can always pause it and look at every number. I sold a total of 48 items for a gross amount of $1,145.34. The money back in the bank was $790.54. My cost of goods were $321.95. No refunds again. It's been a little while since I've had a return or a refund, thank goodness. And my profit was only $468.59. So that's pretty low. It was only 40.91% of my gross sales, which that is lower. I sold about $100 more this week than last week, but my profit was about $100 less. So I did a little bit. I had some sales where I was just happy to recoup some money. So that definitely plays into it. So always be sure you know your numbers and look at what your profit is, not just your gross sales. On Poshmark, I sold 37 items for a gross amount of $783. My cost of goods was $233.34 for a profit of $345.89. On eBay, I sold $294.34. After fees and postage, it was only $162.83. My cost of goods was $43.51, and my profit was $119.32. And then last on Mercari, I just went over that, the one item for $68. So that is everything that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great week. Thank you, bye.